Hello? It's me. Back at it again. The hard pivot. I think I've wasted so much time. I've been awake actually for a while and I haven't been doing anything for a while. Well, I shouldn't say I haven't been doing anything. I've been like sitting around just like brainstorming for the past like 3 hours. Ever since I ate lunch at like 12, I've just been sitting here thinking, like, man, like what can I do to make this a good game? And I gotta tell you, I don't really know. Get this out of here. So instead of actually figuring it out, what we're gonna do is we're gonna hard pivot with a little more than 1 day to go. So I think I got it. It just has to be something that's mechanics focused, which is something that I'm generally better at anyways. So here's the idea. So we'll just make a vehicle game. Just make a vehicle game. How about that? Where is it at? Where? So I think you can use a rigid body. Yeah, you can use a rigid body. Don't actually need to use a vehicle body, because I believe a vehicle body actually tries to simulate a car, which we don't want. So collision shape. Yeah, so I'm just gonna add this, or add a sphere shape. Something like that, right? So this will be bow player. As you may have noticed, I have yeeted pretty much everything that was in the project. It still exists in the original repository, but for now, we're just not going to use it. Bring me to Blender and we'll just make something really simple. Don't really know why Blender is so slow on my computer though. Like, I know that this is, yeah, this is Blender 3.1, so it should be fairly advanced. But what I'm thinking is we'll make a vehicle game. We'll have a car, blah, blah, but then it'll mostly just be like the player leveling up and gaining stats, and then every now and then a boss will just kind of drop onto you. And then you have the choice to either try to run away or try to fight it. And so for the majority of the time, you pretty much have to run away, right? But so you are delaying the inevitable by running away. But you always, at some point, you will have to fight the boss. All right, let's keep this as the expected scale, or maybe not. We can just keep it like this. Why not? So there we go. We'll just have this as, I don't know. It's basically the car, right? Car. So scale this on the Z. Actually, scale this on the Y. It's supposed to be some sort of vehicle, right? So we'll just make this kind of scuffed. Trying to imagine, what does a car look like? It needs to have another segment in the middle. So just loop cut it somewhere. I don't know where we loop cut it. Yeah, probably just loop cut it down the middle, right? And then loop cut it here. That's pretty much it, right? So we grab this part. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Yeah, more or less. It's like a food delivery truck. Looks good. Amazing. Phenomenal. 10 out of 10. And then what we can do here is add... Well, no, that's pretty much it. Yeah. It's gonna be it for me. Let's create a texture and then we'll just assign it to it. So go to paint.net. Actually, we could just do this in Pixel Edit as well. So give me single image document. Give me a 256 by 256. That gives me enough room to work with to do. Let's see, what do windows look like? Windows kind of look like this. We'll go off to the edge, filled. Here we go. Well, the window doesn't need to be that big, right? Window doesn't actually need to be that big. Window can be something like this. So 80 by 44, why not? And just kind of sloppily draw a texture over it. That's pretty much a window, and then we'll just use that same texture for all the windows. So it'll either be squished, it might be smushed, who cares? Then the rest we'll just do. I guess the player vehicle will need to be the most visible. So we don't want it to be red, but we can do it as green. Green is good. So doors will look like something like, what does this look like? We're missing part of a door, I suppose. Bring me back here. Okay, so what we can do is we can loop cut one more time. Loop cut me roughly here. More or less. More or less. How do you select all? Okay. Yeah, there we go. So we'll just need to do this flipped. More or less like that. Because it's like a triangle, right? Kind of. Not really. It's like a kind of a scuffed triangle like this. Make that a darker shade of green. Fill that in, and then add small details to here. Just kind of really lazily draw that in. All right, and then we're just gonna wrap the entire thing in green from here. Everything else is just gonna be green. Maybe a darker shade as well. So then we have big rectangle over here. Let's separate that. I've messed this up. Ugh. Big rectangle on the side. Don't fill that in. What are you doing? Are you crazy? Yeah. Okay. Now fill it in with the opposite color. Don't really know what I would even want to put on here, but I don't know, maybe like I don't even know, just make it green. Everything else is just green paneling. All right, yeah. I mean, that's definitely a texture for sure. It's definitely a texture. It's not my best work for sure. Let's not kill any of these files just yet. So let's do some sort of car, sure. Car, this is car, export car to there. Bring it back to here, and then we will need to start doing the UV stuff. So here, let's add a material. This needs to have an image, texture, open, 5 car, car PNG, and then UV editing. We need to be very careful about how we do the UV stuff. So where is this one? This needs to be just kind of wiggle it. How do I snap a UV? Snap to pixels. Center. Go. There's your UV. Bring me back to here. We can do this to closest, so it's nice and crunchy. This one is still black. I think we're just gonna make this big green. Yeah, we're just gonna do all the UVs manually. My favorites. I guess this is how some people prefer to do it, actually. They're not going to be perfectly, like, pixel perfect, but oh no, okay. Hold on. It is backwards. I wish there was a... Is there a better way of doing this to rotate a shape? Alright, so this is actually the wrong direction. This needs to be over here. Hold on, I'm getting confused. I think this needs to be here. This goes here, probably. This goes here. This goes here. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like this is, Maybe I should have split it, but I'm not sure how to split a UV like that. We'll just keep manually rotating it. One day I'll figure it out. One day. I think that was the best it was going to get. Because I thought that was correct. Maybe not. Maybe if I just keep rotating. One more time. One more time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's upside down right now. So if I grab all of these and then just give it a rotate. Maybe. Something doesn't seem right about this. Like, I feel like this is... Oh, it's backwards. Okay, how do I flip? Is there a way to flip the UV? So mirror on the x-axis. Yeah, okay. It was just backwards. Good to know. It's a bit off. Don't really know how to fix that though. Like, that's actually more correct, but then... Okay, what if we just move it down a little bit? Yeah. So wiggle that down a little bit, wiggle this down. Ooh. Okay. We'll have to fix that texture later, I suppose. Not done the best. The window doesn't make a lot of sense. I'll be the first to tell you that. This UV needs to be done the same way, unfortunately, so let's see if we can just figure it out. Or I wonder if it's possible for me to just copy a UV over. Okay, so I think this needs to be rotated. I think that's slightly more correct, question mark. Yeah, that looks better. Yeah, close enough. Whatever. Well, we'll just leave it as being super jank. Move this over here. At least it's pixel perfect, so I don't need to think too hard about it. More or less. Alright, everything else can just be green. Oh. Oh, don't do that. Grab this. This can be way smaller. Ooh, don't do this. Give me just the green car. I guess this is okay. Just move all these just to a bad texture. Yeah, that looks that looks good. That looks good. It should still be pixel snapping. I don't know why it's not giving me exact results. Okay. Looks okay, as long as you don't look at the windows too hard. As long as you don't look at the windows too hard. And then we'll just kind of like wiggle additional meshes onto it, I suppose. And then we can just use the empty texture for the rest of it. So give me a save. This is car. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's good enough. Let's add additional meshes into the scene. Or actually, can't I can go back to here, open up this. Oh, actually it's still open. So we might as well do something like create square. It's filled. Let's do 44 by 44. That looks to be about exact. Ooh, I think I can make that work. Squares aren't Or no, wheels aren't square, which might be the first problem. Wheels aren't square. You heard it here first. Make it 52 by 52. And a smaller one inside of smaller one inside of it. Hold on. We'll grab this and then just kind of wiggle it onto here. Eyeball it. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Add the rivets or whatever the heck there are. I don't know too much about cars. Yeah, that's pretty much an asset. That's pretty much what a wheel looks like, more or less. All right. Rewrite to general, then we'll open up a recent again. Bring me back to here. Okay, just so that we can refresh this in the most manual way possible. Here, I'm going to, we'll create a few cylinders, I guess. This cylinder needs to be probably like an 8x8 cylinder. Maybe a hexagon. Hexagons are pretty sick as well. Oh, bring me back. Object mode, I need these to be different meshes, 100%. They will use the same texture. Oh, hello. Oh, hello, Nova. I have decided to hard pivot, unfortunately. So we're going with a completely different idea because I was thinking about it pretty much ever since lunchtime. So roughly 3.5 hours ago. So I was thinking about it, just sitting there thinking. I've decided that none of my ideas are doable. So I'm pivoting to a simpler idea that's more mechanics focused. Or it's more focused on like a single mechanic, I suppose. Which is, you are driving a car, so I don't need to, I only need to model like really basic rectangles. The dream. And then occasionally a big boss enemy will drop into the arena. You have the option of either running or fighting. In most cases, you are better off running. Something like that. It's not the most innovative idea, but it's the one that I can make work right now. Oh, hello, Bumsy. Hello, hello. I don't know if you were here when I just explained the pivot to Nova, but guess what? We're pivoting. I've decided I don't like the original idea. But hardest pivot, dropping all the previous idea, bold move, I support you. Yeah. Well, basically, I've decided that the previous idea of doing a lot of flashbacks, it's not very fun. It's mostly like a walking simulator. I was thinking about it. Like when I woke up, I was like, wait a minute, isn't this just like, it's a mix of a choose your own adventure and a walking simulator. There's not too much other stuff I can add, you know, while also having to make all the assets. So I've decided it's a better idea to try to do something that I'm a bit more familiar with. So it's a car game. You drive around, you shoot things. Big boss will drop into the arena every now and then. If you try to face it immediately, you will fail. So you are incentivized to run away and try to build up your strength, and then you can go fight it later. So that's where delay the inevitable comes in. So you are, like, you have to fight the boss at some point. You are essentially being chased by the boss. So it's kind of like Slither.io. You know that? Slither.io. So Slither.io is a snake game. So you are a snake, you're eating things, and you can also eat other players, kind of. And then eventually you grow big enough that you can actually fight the bigger players, etc., etc. Think of the game last night though. Which game? Which game are we talking about? Okay, so give me one of these. We'll make this really small. If you had a giant monster running after you instead of flashback, you just pick up stuff around and try to survive. Yeah, the problem with that, because I was thinking, like, I actually wrote this down as soon as I woke up. I was like, wait a minute, pivot. It's more of like an infinite staircase. It's not really a flashback. And then at certain points, so basically you're just climbing an infinite tower, more or less. But then you'll have like encounters that kind of take the place of the flashbacks, and then you can build around those kind of set pieces instead. And so then you have like kind of the breathing room in between. But I think it's still just too many assets that I'm not good enough at making. I think the biggest failure for me here is my failure to prepare. I remember less Blender than I thought I remembered. Hold on. Let me edit this really quickly. Let me just give me a big black bar. And then we'll just have to imagine. Is there a way to refresh this view in Blender? Oh, it's reload. Never mind. Ignore that, I found it. Bring me here. This should be over here. Move this to be about the same size. Yeah, good enough. Give that a save. So this will be wheel. And then we'll just kind of duplicate it. So spin this around the y-axis. And then can't you do one of these options? Yeah, so then just negate it and then move these over here. Yeah, okay, it's a pizza truck. Isn't this kind of what the Pizza Planet truck looks like from Toy Story? Almost, not really. Ignore how the textures are super scuffed. Yeah, the reason why these wheels are separate meshes is that I'll just kind of rotate them manually. It'll be good enough. So this will be front left. Be front right. Back left. Back right. It's a big green truck. I was gonna make it blue, but then I figured that it would probably blend in too much with the windows. So it can't make it red because red is for enemies. Therefore we're green. Should I use pivot? Oh, absolutely not. I'm gonna reject the pivot if you use it now. So I would not recommend it, to be honest. How do you remove a bookmark from Blender? Yeah, I don't know how. Because you're not able to select it. It's gonna bother me until I get rid of it. let's see. Models. So this, we'll just put this as car. I think that's just what I called it. And this will be car GLB. Go into Godot. We'll need to re-import it because for whatever reason, oh, never mind. Seems okay. The materials are the same name, strangely enough. Even though these should be using the same material. Oh, the car actually has a lower roughness. How's that happen? Is it possible for me to use the same material? So if I save it, just give me a save. Then we'll go to front left, remove. Oh, okay, that's how you can do it. And then the UV should be the same as well, right? I guess that's okay. All right, bring me back to Godot. We will delete all of these, re-export. Go back to Godot. Okay, now there's just the one material. Okay, so there's the player. Boom, boom. Car GLB. Oh, it's beautiful. Absolutely. 10 out of 10. Make local. Then we have all the meshes now. Looking pretty good. So this is more like the chassis, I guess. And then we just have a bunch of wheels. So for the big material though, let me see, the albedo, grab this, no bitmaps, no repeat. There's not too much detail on it. Shouldn't be too hard to mess with it though, after the fact. Yeah, then we'll have just a big camera, a big floating camera, I suppose, in the first scene. So bring it back to a test screen. Screens, slap this into here. Let's see. We'll need to have static body, collision shape, and then we'll add a mesh instance under that. So the collision shape, this is going to be a box shape. Then the mesh instance will need to be a plane shape. Yeah. Move this up one. Move this down one. Right. Then on the mesh instance, we add a material. Where is it? Material, spatial material. Mess with the albedo. Let's just make it brown. Maybe like a sand color. That's more or less sand colored, I guess. We'll call this the ground. Scale it 100, 100, 100. Or maybe we don't want to scale it on the y-axis, just be 1. So it's very, very big. Or it's big enough. I don't know if it's very, very big. Yeah. Player text scene. Just kind of drop it into here. And then I think, Give me a camera, just attach it straight to the player, because there's not really any reason we don't want to attach the camera to the player, I think. Or maybe, maybe I should be having this be separate. Nah. Well, when you are just a ball that's running around, that's rolling around, I should say. So we want to axis lock all of these so it doesn't actually roll. Right? So this is just a ball. Yeah. It's just a ball, which means we need to make this a bit bigger. Radius. Ooh, no. How big does this need to be? That's roughly good enough. It'll look convincing. Give me the front view. Front view. That's not really the front. Yeah. It's close enough. It's close enough. So player, we need to also adjust the input map because these are technically not correct anymore. It's not like strafe left and right. It's more of just, it's like accelerate, brake, accelerate, brake. It's like turn left, turn right. And the benefit of this is it also simplifies some of the animation, I guess. So we only need to wiggle things left and right as opposed to, you know, having to actually just animate stuff. I guess the only animation is like spinning the wheels, I guess. But even then, maybe I don't even need to use an animation player. I can just rotate the mesh manually. So if I add an animation player, like we can just make it really simple, right? So it's like load. So stopped. So we'll use this as kind of the idle. The idle animation. It's not really an animation, I guess. So matrix translation, no. I guess it's just more of like, well, maybe it's like the rotation, right? Yeah, the rotation. So the rotation, and then we'll, for all of these, or for maybe just for both of these, right? What happens if I rotate these on the X? So rotate these forward. Oh, very nice. So they actually rotate in the same amount forward for both. Oh no. So guess what? Let me see. That's rotated forward. That's good. All right, these all just rotate forward. It's beautiful. So stopped. Wiggle it just a little bit. As kind of a, I guess, a rumble. This isn't really how you're supposed to do it, but, you know, we don't play by the rules here. Okay. That's not really what I was going for. That's not really what I was going for. Looks like someone is having a bit of fun in the trunk, for sure. So. Okay. Whatever. duplicate this, rename it, so this is just drive. And then for all of the wheels, we'll just spin them, and that's what we're gonna do, I suppose. So 180. So this is rotate. It does rotate back around. Oh no. Hold on. Let's just play it. Just absolutely beautiful. Do this. I don't know, maybe the engine's bad or something, so it just constantly hitches up and down. No, that's a bit too violent, isn't it? Okay. Is there a way for me to do this just kind of automatically for the other ones? I don't think there is. So I guess prepare yourself. Kind of painful. Or actually, okay, maybe it does it automatically and it just kind of figures it out. I feel like I've had it happen before where it didn't actually figure it out for me, but maybe I'm crazy. And this is where having a numpad on your mouse is nice. All right, yeah, there's your driving animation. It looks jank. I guess we can kind of mess with this so it's kind of like fully out. Yeah, so soft ramp up, and then we can just change the ramps here to be like in, out. Then maybe this one is just out. It's close enough. It's close enough. We can add a camera, but I don't think we want to add a camera straight to it. Like the camera should be completely separate so it's not actually affected by the rotation. It's only affected by the global position. Oh, and actually, because of that, the angular Y should be unlocked. It's only the X rotation, so we don't want it to like rotate on the X. That would be bad. And we also don't want it to rotate on the Z. Unless we explicitly say that it's allowed to flip on the Z, right? The only rotation we want is on the Y, so we can turn like this. And then for the wheels, we can also kind of wiggle the wheels at the same time. So whenever you start turning, I can have references to the front two wheels. So the front left and front right. Front L. Mesh instance. Fronts R. So func. Let's see, physics process. Need to do this quickly. I've already done this once before. Actually, since I've already done this once before, let's just copy that code really quickly. And by I've done this once before, Who the heck found my... What the heck? Who's watching this? Ooh? Why would you start this? But anyways, check this out. If you're interested, I wrote this like 2 years ago. That's crazy. It's written in High, which is a Lisp written in Python. And then I wrote like a really simple shooter for it. Scrolling shooter. Look, it's all Lisp. It uses SDL2. It's so weird. How the heck does someone find this? Let's see. What we're looking for is Ludum Dare 50. Let me see. What did I do for the player? Player. Okay. Input get vector, blah, blah. And we can do roughly the same thing here for process. Let me see. It's using Lisp. We work on the most interesting stuff, I swear. Yeah, well, it's like the interesting stuff. It's not something that's actually fun to do or something that's fun to play. I find it fun to do, but it's mostly just weird. That's neither here nor there. We're also not going to try to write a game in friggin' high lang. What the heck? This is where I put it. So that's the mouse input. We don't need any of that. We do need to grab the movement input. And then because I'm doing this in kind of a scuffed way, since the player character is just kind of a ball, yeah, because the player is just kind of a ball, what we can do is var acceleration input is equal to input get vector. So, oh, that's a negative. Oh, what the heck? What is this? Get vector. It gets an input vector by specifying 4 actions for the positive and negative x and y axes. This method is useful for getting vector input, such as from a joystick, directional pad arrows, or WSD. Okay, so I should probably be using this for everything anyways. So let's do turn left. So wouldn't negative y be break? Is there anything else I need to do here? No, I think that's okay. So then your movement is equal to, I think it should be relative to wherever the player is currently facing. So we can do just the regular transform basis transform. We'll just translate this somehow. You might have remembered very late I was working on this. I wrote this exact same code. Move speed. There is no other. Gravity. Oh, I guess we might as well grab gravity, right? Let's grab whatever the heck we used for that, which is this. I don't foresee gravity being something I actually need. There's no mouse input, so we don't need to worry about that. I do need to hold on to velocity. Oh, no semicolons. So Ah. Oh, because this is not a kinematic body, we don't need to do gravity because gravity is automatically applied. What are you doing? And also, the velocity is automatically applied as well. This just needs to be like an impulse, right? Yeah, so we just need the movement times the move speed, and then we'll grab your Z, the Z part of this movement thingy, and then do like apply central impulse. Well, that's pretty much it, right? Apply movement. That's pretty much it. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Let's go to test screen. This has the player. We'll just kind of drop you into here. And then camera should be mounted onto a spatial as a camera arm. Camera arm, and then just a camera, I suppose. Move this up. Current, let's make it 80. 80 is usually pretty good. Why can't I see the camera? It's because it's just too hard to see. So we'll look down. So we'll look down. Might be way too close. Yeah, we were just really, really close to the car. What's the transform looking like? 30? What does that look like? Okay, so it needs to be slightly offset as well. So offset it by 10 question mark. Orthogonal, probably not. What does this look like? How about this? I don't know. For here, we can attach a script, or actually what we can do is say branch as a screen. So this is like drive camera, I suppose. Drive camera. That sounds pretty good to me. Last name, drive camera. And then we'll have this just hold on to whatever it should be tracking at the current point in time. And the idea is that this will be completely separate from the world transform of whatever it's tracking. Otherwise, it would spin with the car. There's a few ways around this. Like, I guess I could just have this exist as a regular node on the player as well, and then just correct it every single time, or every frame, but I think this is a bit cleaner. Tracked object is some sort of spatial. Defaults to null, and then in test screen, we'll just need to hook it up. So you'll have the camera arm. Or this is actually the drive camera. Right, and then on ready, we'll do drive camera. Tracked object is equal to player. All right, so tracked object, we'll just set this to self for now so that it will never be null. And then in, probably physics process, why not? probably makes more sense to do this in process, but whatever. Then we can have a like next position. So we'll also interpolate it manually. So I believe this is a vector 3 because we are not trying to copy. We are not trying to copy any transformations. So none of the scaling stuff, and none of the rotations if we can avoid it as well. So tract. So next position is equal to tract object global transform origin, and then the interpolation amounts. So amount so we'll interpolate it at 0.1 speed, maybe like 0.5 speed. So that's your next position, and then we will set our position to, so our global transform origin is equal to lerp our global transform origin to next position. Actually, yeah, we don't need to do that at all. Or we don't need to cache it. And then interpolation amount. Okay. So test screen, what does this look like? Oh, geez. Whoa. It's very fast. Oh, this doesn't do anything. Ooh. So is it backwards? Did I do this backwards by accident? This happens sometimes. Or maybe these just need to be reversed. Yeah, that's fine. Then the speed needs to be like 5, I think. Run the test screen. So we can move. I need to turn up the friction. Really cool how we can also just kind of spin out and there's no way for me to tell where we are. Yeah, maybe you don't, maybe it should like try to track you, but then, or maybe it should be independent, because right now the idea is that it's actually using tank controls, kind of. Let me think. We need to transform the basis by the movement inputs, I think. So can't I do something like this? So our transform basis is equal to a new basis 0, just movement input x 0, something like that. Doesn't that work? Looking kind of scuffed, not gonna lie. Maybe we just don't do any of this at all. So apply central impulse. So that impulse should also be able to rotate you on the y-axis. Or actually, yeah, because our player, just a ball. Is this how you would do it? Is this how you would do it? I think this is how you would do it. Like, you don't actually want the ball to roll. And if you're going for, yeah, like actual car driving, this is how you would do it. Maybe I don't want to modify the basis, or maybe for all of these. Oh yeah, I see. I need to put these on their own pivot. So spatial. So this is just, I guess, an alternative pivot, which may or may not break the animations. No, we're good. Okay, cool. So that's still right. Very cool. Front L, front right. Okay, so then we grab the pivot here. Alright, so then we'll grab the pivot transform and then modify that instead. Let's go to the main menu. Well, no. Let's change the main run scene to be just the test screen so we can test this really, really quickly. Okay, well, it needs to be additive, I think. It needs to be additive. And not based off of your current input, actually. We're learning. I know exactly what I want to do. And I know it'll work. I just need to make it work. Or actually, this shouldn't be based off of the movement input, right? This should be based off of your linear velocity. Is that something that you have on your rigid body? A linear velocity? Or an angular velocity? Whatever you want, right? Linear velocity, angular, what's the difference? Linear velocity in units per second. Don't set this every frame. We don't have any rotational velocity. That's fine. Only a linear velocity? Okay. So this should be your linear velocity x. That doesn't seem right. Linear velocity. If you want to rotate it, you need to figure out the angle of interpolation with other rotation. No. What is x form? Terms the vector multiplied by the matrix. I don't really know what that means. Can't you just do like a rotate y by the movement input? Or by the linear velocity. What am I looking for? Or is it just based off of your movement inputs? No. How do I get the current direction of a 3D object? How are you moving the car? Sphere, body, torque? Yeah, it's just the sphere body. It's just the sphere. It's a sphere that doesn't rotate. So it's just being moved based off of central impulse. So it doesn't technically roll. It just kind of moves. Hold on. I know this is very common. I've just never done it myself, but I've seen it before on Twitter. So, sphere, body, vehicle. Sure. Sphere, body, no. Game dev. Sphere, that's Unity car physics. What is it called? I know what this is. This is not giving me good results though. Yeah, okay, here we go. See, this is fairly, those use torque to move the body. Hold on. I like kids can code is usually pretty good. Hold on. Add a sphere collision shape to the rigid body. Yeah. I don't think I need the ray cast, but maybe I do. Use sphere part distinct it. What do you mean distinct it? What am I making distinct? Already that pointing point and precision. Rotate the car mesh. Oh geez. This is a trick for car physics. Well, I'm using the idea of just using a sphere. So quick arcade style car. So it's arcade style. So kids can code it. This is actually how I learned how to do like a very basic RTS controller as well. The complicated stuff, you can do sphere rotation. Yeah, I think I would need to, it looks like how they're doing it is, it's not actually a collision shape as your root node. It looks like they just have a spatial as their root node. Add to the rigid body. Where's your rigid body? So car is a spatial, there's your imported model, and then you have your rigid body. Okay, well, we'll do it how they're doing it. That's good enough. So you don't move the body, but apply a torque to the sphere. Yeah, I think that's what they're doing. Let me try this. So rigid body. This is not quite right, so then this will be some sort of spatial. Now everything is all kinds of messed up. Haven't done it myself. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. that's what I'm looking at, by the way. You know, audio only. Viewer spotted. I'm looking at using a sphere to do all the stuff, as far as I understand it. Maybe that's not correct. Unready var ball. This rigid body. All right, they're using a ground raycast. Let's just see if we need that or not. So sphere offset, where to place the car mesh relative to the sphere? Question mark. Relative to the sphere. Acceleration, steering, turn them out. No types. Seems suspect. Alright, so we just have these, that's okay. Don't really know what sphere offset is, but it looks like it's based off of like a raycast. Where did they add their raycast? Probably add a raycast as a child of the car mesh? No, absolutely not. Maybe at some point. But that's not what my model looks like. And presumably my offsets are a bit different from theirs. steering. Bar turn speed. Turn stop limit. That makes sense to me. It's the problem with hard pivots. Is that now we're in just completely unknown territory. I've never had to do this before either. So variables for input values. So speed, input. I don't think I need that, but we'll think about it. We'll deal with it when the time comes. Rotate, input. Export these if you like. We don't need to. Guess we, you know what? Let's add the raycast just because they're doing it. I don't think I need the raycast though. And we'll also just add it to the pivot. So enable it. They have theirs just going straight down as well, I think. It says cast 2 to 0, -1, 0. Where is it? I don't see it. Exclude parents. Yeah. I guess we don't want to exclude, or we do want to exclude the ball. So let's grab the raycast. Raycast as raycast. Here, raycast, exclude, add exception. Ball. All right, then in physics process, let's get rid of all of this. Car mesh. Keep the car mesh. Oh no. Oh no, this is what I thought they were doing. I've done this before, actually. Not this exact way, but this is pretty close to what I hope they weren't doing. So pivot, transform, that's not how you spell it. Transform origin is equal to ball transform origin. And I think the pivot, yeah, there is no offsets because these are both at 0, 0. Yeah. Because I have the additional pivot node, because I have more than one mesh. Transform origin. What is this? Oh, I misspelled pivot. Accelerate based on the car's forward direction. Ball. Add central force. Why are we always adding a central force? So this is pivot, that's not how you spell it, global transform basis c times your speed input. Oh, okay, because our speed input will be changing. I see. Then how do you slow down? I guess like your speed input could also be 0. That's fine. Oh, and that's how they tell if you're on the ground or not. Okay. Okay. I can't see it though. Are you usually able to see raycasts? Or is that not true? Oh, no, that is the raycast. It just kind of blends in with the thing. No, let me see the gizmo. Oh, geez. Okay, where is it? I think it needs to be a bit bigger. Yeah, the raycast needs to be as big as the sphere shape, right? So 1.8. is roughly how big this needs to be. So this is negative 1.8. Because it needs to extend below the ball, I think. Something like that. Yeah. Seems good enough. It extends just outside of the ball. So if not, raycast is colliding. Then return, because they were not on the ground. Okay. Okay. I think we can do this. We can now use this in like the regular process function. So that's your input, and then we can set the speed inputs and the other stuff based off of this movement input. So the rotation or the speed will be based off of our y. Speed input is equal to movement input y times acceleration, and our rotate input is equal to movement input x times degrees to radians steering question mark. All right, so we're translating it. So the length is greater than the turn stop limit. Familiar. So there is some sort of basis. So this is your pivot. I'm just using the pivot for everything, huh? Global transform basis rotated. Rotated around what? Oh my god, it's so small. Bring me up to here. So I can't see my OBS thing anymore. No more OBS preview. Pivot. Global transform basis y. Then your pivot global transform. This kind of code reminds me of OpenC Face GD's old transform handling code where it's just like a ton of like long chains of like transform manipulation. My worst nightmare. Basis turn speed times delta. Transform is equal to pivot global transform ortho normalized. Ugh. All right, does that work? I don't know. Maybe that's okay. Oh geez. What happened to the rest of it? What the heck? Oh, it's because I hit it. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so now it's backwards for some of them. That's weird. Where is it? Player. So turn left and turn right are good. This needs to be brake. So, or actually, keep it like this, and then we'll just flip these around. So turn right, turn left. All right, cool. This seems good enough. It's a bit floaty, but we just need to mess with the friction, I think. Right, physics material override. So what we can do is this, physics material friction, maximum friction, rough. So true for both. We'll use the highest friction. Yeah, use this, absorbent. Okay. That doesn't really help. I'm gonna be honest. Maybe it's just like the mass or like the weight. So we can turn up the weight to be like, I don't know, 200 or something. Like it's heavy. It's supposed to be heavy. This is something that I've never quite understood. Yeah, like what I want is more friction, but that's not what's happening. Oh, hello, Oberon. Oh, sorry. I missed it. I'm sorry. I was looking at a tutorial on my other screen, so I did not have my Twitch chat up. Oh, hello. Let's drink some water. Thank you for redeeming that. This might be a bit degenerate, but I've just been drinking one of these, like the market bought like smoothie things. Green goodness. If you look at the nutrition facts, it's just absolutely horrible for you. Has a lot of nutrients, but also just full of sugar. Doesn't matter if you have high friction on a spear, it will roll up. That's probably true. Like, I need some way to damp the linear velocity. Go ahead and work on some stuff. Have fun working on stuff. Thanks for hanging out. As I slowly just lose more and more faith in my programming ability. Take it easy. We're very quickly running out of time. Tilt the body. I don't need to do any body tilt, although I could. So instead of doing it via the animation player. Or I suppose, how did they do rotation? Ooh, turn the wheels. Align with slopes. We don't really need to align with slopes just yet, but we could. We could. Yeah, let's just do all of this stuff. I'm glad that they have all of this in text format, so I don't need to read anything. Or we can look at this. Look at that. I'll give it a star. It's pretty good. It's a little old, but that's fine. Car. Is it a car example or a ball car? Let's see. Add raise. Set interest. Oh, okay. Rotate car mesh. Tilt body for effect. Yeah, we can tilt the body for effect. Why not? Rotate wheels for effect. So I don't even need the animation player, maybe. You play with angular dampening. Oh, you know what? That's probably exactly it. So just set it to 1. Will that do a thing? Oh, well, reset my mass. Hmm. 10. I know that I can set these from the editor, but hold on. We set to 100, sure. That seems really high. That doesn't seem right still. Oh no, it's very fast. Drive camera. Okay, let's fix this really quickly. So global transform origin is equal to this thing. So test screen. Wait a minute. This should be working, but it's not following. Give me one sec. Does that mean that the player is not actually moving at all? Oh, that's true. Oh. Interesting. Interesting. So you need to make it slow speed. If forward versus car body forward angle is high. What? Looks like what you what you need to do is make it slow speed if forward versus... That sentence doesn't make any sense, I'm sorry. I can't parse that. Make it slow speed if forward versus car body forward angle is high. You're missing a few words. You're missing a few words here that I'm not quite understanding. So I think this needs to... Like, I guess, like, they are just rolling the ball, right? Or actually, hold on. Yeah, no. You'll figure it out. Gotta make some food. Yeah, I'll figure it out. Back have to deal with the nieces. Huh. Good luck dealing with children. I'm assuming that they're children. I'm very bad with children. But I've been here. Slowly losing steam, you know, just losing my mind. The usual. Let me see. I think I can do this. So what I'm doing is game jam for Ludum Dare 50. The theme is delay the inevitable. I did spend a lot of just last night working on it, but I just completely dropped that idea. It's not a good idea, because the original idea that I had was like it's like you know, you play as a dying person and you see your life flashing before your eyes. I think it's an interesting idea that I haven't really seen before, but unfortunately it just requires too many assets. I quickly realized that I remember less Blender than I thought I remembered. So I'm pivoting to something kind of closer to maybe like a death rally or something. So you play as a car, because cars are easy, or at least I thought they were going to be easy. And then occasionally you will encounter a big enemy with a big frick off health bar. So once that happens, you'll need to either fight it or run away, and then that's where the inevitable part comes in. So you can run away and delay it, or you can, you know, fight it, etc. They're 11 and 10. Nice. I'm happy to announce I am more than twice their age. So their node hierarchy doesn't really make a lot of sense. Yeah, it's like I need to wiggle the... Yeah, like what I want to do is not use the pivot. Yeah, I don't want to use the pivot here. What I actually want to do is just move the entire node. So like the entire structure of it. Something like that. Can't see anything, so I'm not sure where I am. Ooh. So, why did that happen? So we undo all of these. Oh, these are all based off pivots. Of course the pivot doesn't move. And then the basis also doesn't move. Anything that has to do with the pivot I need to remove, at least for this stuff. And then just use it based off of the root node instead. Alright, well, good. Still nothing. Global transform. Linear, ball linear velocity. Blah, blah, blah. Ball transform. So the transform origin should be equal to the ball. We can look at the visual collision shapes just to make sure, just in case. We can undo all of these. Oh, that's weird. What else did I change by accident? Oh, I've changed something. I don't remember what. No, this is right. Oh, how strange. Well, I don't think it's actually rolling at all either. Yeah, I don't think it's rolling. Is it rolling? I can't really tell. Let's change this to be a kinematic body. Or not a kinematic body, this needs to be a rigid body. Like if it's not rolling at all, then maybe I can just make this work. So then we'll start applying this, I guess we can just do self. No, you can't do that. We can just do this and just change it in place. All right, well, so that means, what happened? So that's the angular damp. Don't really need to do any of that. Can sleep, no. Axis lock, no. Linear. Like, this doesn't matter. We can have a collision shape wherever we want. So why is it that we can't move it now? Ugh. Just add a mesh instance as well, just so I can tell if we're even moving or not. So that looks like what I want. Like it's lerped, it's interpolated. That's exactly what we want to happen. But then it's just at this part I'm not able to move it because ball add central force. Give me a canvas layer. Just to slap a label onto that. That will be a debug label. Label text is equal to linear velocity. Interesting. So that's not able to work. But this does. Change this to a spatial. Change this to be parented to the ball. Then this is a spatial. Ball. Linear velocity is not declared in the current scope. Yeah, so that is valid, and then we're getting real inputs, but then we're not able to pivot transform origin. Can't I just do this? Transform origin is equal to okay, let's think about this. I can still make this work. It's just gonna be a bit more jank. Like that. Okay, so here the problem is that whatever we're using doesn't actually follow. Oh, now we just fell off the entire map. Yeah, I guess the original player node doesn't actually follow along, but that's kind of fine, I guess, since it's arcade style. Yeah, that's whatever. Whatever. Let's jimmy this up a bit more. So 50. It's pretty high. And then we can also move it back a bit more. Okay. Rotate it a bit more. It's like 75, I think. Maybe just 70, perhaps. 60? Wasn't I at 60 before? Maybe not. What does this look like? 75. Yeah, okay. That's roughly good enough. You can see the ball kind of moving here as well. The mesh is kind of struggling to keep up. Okay. Well, we'll just follow the rest of this, I guess. Just in case we need it. Why not? I've adapted most of this to work with how the previous system worked. Let's see. Align with surface. Add this code after rotating the mesh in process. Did I rotate the mesh? Yes, it's here. Yeah, so let's grab this. Align with Y. Is that what they're doing? Okay. Align with Y. Transform. So XForm is some sort of transform value. New Y, I'm assuming. No, that's just a float. Yeah. This gives you back a transform. Basis X is equal to the negative transform basis. Jeez, this is why I hate working in 3D. I don't remember how to do any of this stuff. So the transform basis is the transform basis orthonormalized. Okay. So actually, new Y, isn't that a... Okay, that's a vector 3. I guess we'll figure it out. Where is this used? It's just used right here. So there's tilt body for effect. I'm not tilting anything, I'm just rotating stuff. var t, what the heck is this? Hopefully Godot is just able to tell me. So rotate input should be a float times the ball linear velocity length. This sounds like a float. I don't have any tilt though. Body tilt. Not to tilt the body on turns. Body tilt. Okay. Sure. And then the pivot body or pivot rotation Z is the lerped amount of the pivot rotation Z T 10 times delta? Why? Is lerp to like roughly what the roughly a second? Question mark. It's the collision normal. Isn't the collision normal a vector 3? That sounds like a vector 3. So this is raycast. Get collision normal, and I think we can guarantee that there is a collision. Otherwise, we don't do anything at all. align with Y. Global transform, and then N normalize. Is that true? I guess it's true. Pivot global transform is equal to pivot global term interpolates with x form 10 times delta. So they're still multiplying it by roughly 1 second. That's something I don't quite understand. I also don't think that's true. That doesn't feel correct, but maybe that's wrong. Oh, and actually, this should only be the car body at this point. This should only be the car body. It should not be the entire pivot. So there's the car. So there's the chassis. Quantity of our chassis. So there's your chassis. Okay. So this is tilt body. There's the chassis. And then this is aligning with the ground, which is, we want to do, yeah. Okay. It seems... The heck is that? There's like a little blue dot that I can see. I don't know what that is. All right. Well, I guess now we're at that point where I can start adding more stuff. So I guess let's add the GUI. So this is the test screen. We can just move this into like a regular game screen. And I guess we'll need to have let's see, game screen. So this will be the main thing that you load into. Game screen. So there'll only ever be the one game screen, and it'll just move around, I suppose. So how do you generate, what's a way to generate terrain? Like generate random terrain. Let's look something up on how to do that. Generate random terrain. Go. If there's a way to do it, oh, okay, procedural geometry stuff. So this is not the latest. Does this not? Oh, it doesn't exist anymore. Good stuff. Good stuff. .1. Oh, this is just procedural geometry. Plain mesh. Random number. No. Procedural map generation. What do you got? Terrain generator. Yeah, give me a terrain generator. I just need to have a basic mesh, if you will, if you please. Mesh instance GD. Why are these all just called the same thing? When was this written? 2020. Okay. So let's figure this out. Based off of whatever the heck they're doing. And also, gotta make sure, is this open source? If this is not open source, then I can't use it. It might not be open source. Oh, there is a license. There's actually 2 licenses. It's MIT. Ooh, more or less MIT. Okay. I'll take a look. Height transformer, generate world, plane mesh. Okay. So let's do func generate generate ground. So this will give you back a mesh instance. Var mi. Just return the mesh instance afterwards, and then we'll do the rest from here. So, oh no, we'll just follow some of their steps. Var noise is equal to open simplex noise. Noise seed is equal to rand I guess. Why not? Do they not generate the world on the first try? Like, this looks more or less correct, but maybe they just didn't use it anymore. Per details, please read the license. No. Our intention of having entities for reinforcement learning training, but the project is not at this stage yet. Okay, well, I think this looks pretty good, I guess. Noise octaves 6, I guess. Noise period. Still don't really know what that. Don't know what any of this really means, so we're learning. And then surface tool. This might not be good at all. This only has 2 stars, so it's most likely not very good. What do you got? No, this is not what I want. I mean, this is noise generation, but I need to... Okay. Why didn't I look at this before? So I need to do... Is there any way to do random mesh generation? This looks like it's pretty close. I don't know. We can figure this out. If anything, this entire game jam will just be a good learning experience, I suppose. Size is vector 2. Let's do 1024 to 1024. That's fine. Plane mesh subdivide depth. Plane mesh subdivide width. Surface tool. Surface tool. Create from plane mesh. Okay. So what is this supposed to do? I still haven't really gotten to the points where it's generating a mesh, so this might not be good. What are your last few commits? Not quite at the correct point. Okay, so I guess this is just for like testing. That's fine. Wonder how the chunks work. Okay. Height transformer, generate world. Oh, okay. I see. So that's where they moved it. Interesting. This is still probably close enough. Alright, plane is equal to surface tool. Commit. Nothing inside of that. I don't think you need to have a data tool, or a mesh data tool, but we'll see. Mesh data tool. Create from surface. I'm having my doubts as to the efficiency of this. For I in data tool get vertex count. If this does work though, this will be pretty sick. Because I think this is the same thing that I need to do for this. It's very close to what I need to do for the VTuber thing I've been working on anyways. Like I somewhat understand what the heck I'm writing, which is might be surprising if you've just been watching. Height transformer, okay. So height transformer. Height transformer, which takes in some sort of height. I don't really know what this takes in, so we'll wait on it for now. So height transformer noise, get noise 3D. So it's a float. Ooh. Text plus vertex x plus x. There is no x. Oh, I see. Well, that's probably okay. Vertex x. Okay, I need to find something better. I don't have any of the tooling for this. Let's keep looking. Is this the same person? Oh, this person got this from here. Oh. This is almost the exact same code. Look at that. This is the exact same code. I'm looking at the same thing. Yeah. So this person got their code from here, and I'm also getting my code from there, but I don't think it's good enough. It contains simple 3D rooms and stuff. Hey. Height transform. How does noise 3D work? Low poly terrain. I just need a code snippet, please. Random terrain mesh. Mesh generation with height map and shaders. Shaders is okay. Oh my god, this is in 2.1. Ooh. And they're also using Blender. Okay. Yeah, that's a mesh. Yeah, that makes sense. But then how do I generate a mesh from that data? Can I pass it on somewhere else? Procedural generation, testing procedural terrain generation, simple procedural terrain. Oh, look at that. I already have this. Yeah, license MIT. Example, simple generator. Let's see. So randomize noise. Is that it? There's no way. Simple PCG terrain can be found and create new node under spatial. Okay. Need your own generation node specified its path in the inspector. Is there an example? This doesn't make any sense to me. Generator node. Use multiple materials. Look at simple generator GD. The simple map generator is made for demonstration purposes. It gives a nice example of how get height and get value functions in your own generation, or how the get height and get value functions generation should look like. Seems a bit suspect. Oh, it's this thing right here. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I got bad news for me. If there's no out-of-the-box tool, I don't think this is gonna work, because I'm not even sure how to make this work then. So, like the example text, oh no, do the example text scenes have, no. This is using multiple materials. Eh? Example text scene shows the basics of usage. Eh? Example text scene. I require a thing. So node path, simple generator, player node, chunk load radius, script. I don't think this is right. Or at least this is not how I would approach it, I think. But maybe I'm just a weirdo. So is like simplex noise just something that you can add? No, right? Like that's a resource. But then generating noise, yeah. Let's just give up on this part as well. It'd be nice to have, but I can't pivot again. If I pivot again, then I'm pretty much giving up. I don't want to give up though. That's gonna suck. All right. Give me the Unity tutorial. Even though I'm not doing Unity, we can figure it out. So I have noise generation, creating a level tile, new plane. Yeah. Generates blah blah blah. I think that yeah, you know what? I think I got bad news. I think I'm gonna have to give up. I think I'm gonna have to give up. I don't think this is feasible. I'm way in over my head and it's too late to pivot twice. Because writing an entire game in a day is just not good for your health. But yeah, what a sad ending. I'm gonna keep some of these ideas in the back of my head though. These three ideas, I think they have potential. But yeah, we're gonna have to call it quits. Yeah, thanks for tuning in though. Later.